Brothers and sisters, good evening. May God bless you all. I have a question based on the Bible, sister, in the Gospel according to Matthew, in chapter 22, in verse 36 to 39.
Matthew 22, from verse 34? 36 to 39, yes.
The passage reads as follows. Teacher, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said to him, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Sister, my question is based on this last verse. What does it mean in our spiritual lives to love ourselves? And if this influences in some way, or up to what point does it relate to vanity? Could it perhaps pass that limit, or at what point does it pass that limit and become vanity? Thank you.
Vanity? About vanity? Oh. Well, in Matthew, are we all in Matthew 22:36? It reads, Teacher, which is the great commandment in the law of Moses? Jesus said to him, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. Very well. This is the first and great commandment, and the second is, You shall love your neighbor as yourself. When we love God, along the way, we are also loving our neighbor. Because loving is not to harm someone. Loving someone is not to hurt another person. Let's talk about ourselves here in the congregation, or even so, let's talk about the people in the world. If you go out and you want to injure someone with maybe a weapon, you are not loving because you are harming someone else. You're causing someone else to suffer. You injured them, so you're not loving them. Here, we have changed, and maybe in the past we used to sin, and in the past, maybe there were some who would steal, others who maybe would commit certain assaults, murders, others would get drunk and would do a lot of crazy things in the midst of their drunkenness, and maybe even beat and hit someone else, maybe a family member at home. Because sin causes you to offend someone else. When you steal from someone, who are you hurting? Well, the owner of what has been stolen. A person who commits adultery, who are you harming? Your partner. You are harming them. You are causing them to suffer. So, loving is not to do these things. So a person who loves says, well, how can I commit adultery? Because I will cause my partner to suffer. I'm going to turn away from that. I won't commit adultery. I'm going to be faithful. They are loving their partner. Now, of course, first and foremost, God. Now we turn away from sin because we say, I'm going to please God. So I'm going to stop stealing. I'm going to stop deceiving people. I'm going to stop conning and lying and being very greedy. I'm going to leave that aside because I need to please God. But along the way, you are also doing that with those around you. Because if you're no longer greedy, if you are now a person who is generous and giving to others. And so you see, now we're loving God and we're also loving our neighbor. We're loving another person. You're loving them. And so this is why it's first you love God and along the way you love your neighbor too. So I don't want to hurt my neighbor. I don't want to hurt another person because I don't want anyone to come and hurt me. Don't you think when we go out We live life, we go out and about, we travel, we come and go, we enter and leave, and we don't want anything to happen to us. We don't even want to be bitten by an ant. Haven't you noticed? You don't want an ant to bite you or a mosquito to bite you. You try and avoid that. No, I don't want mosquitoes to bite me. I don't want an ant to come here and bite me. I don't want that. We are trying to seek our own well-being, right? For nothing to hurt us. That we don't feel anything, no danger or harm. I don't like to feel hungry. I don't like anyone to humiliate me. I don't like anyone to yell at me. So many things that you want for yourself, for your well-being. You want the best things, right? And you want that whenever you go to sleep, you want the bed and the pillow to be fluffy. You are seeking your own comfort. We're seeking our comfort and delight. Always. And we don't even want a mosquito to come and bite us. So that is it, brothers and sisters. What we don't want for ourselves, we don't want to be uncomfortable or be harmed, well then we will never do that to anyone else nor desire that on anyone else. Therefore, I want my happiness, my well-being and peace. And I also then offer that to another person, their happiness and their well-being. And therefore, since I want no one to deceive me, I don't deceive anyone. Since I don't want anyone to lie to me, I don't lie to anyone. Since I don't want anyone to be unfaithful or unloyal, well then I'm not unfaithful or unloyal to another person. Since I don't want anyone to steal from me or assault me, I'm not going to go and steal or assault anyone. This we call loving your neighbor as yourself. So I don't want anyone to be dying of hunger, because what would I feel then if I had nothing to eat and I'm dying of hunger? What would I feel? How my agony would be? So I don't want that for anyone else. So if they're dying of hunger, I need to lend a hand. This we call loving. And it says here, and it says the second is like it, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. So it depends on these two commandments, that you do not sin, that you do not commit sin. Very well. It doesn't deal with vanity. The brother mentioned if we call this vanity. No, vanity is something else. Vanity is everything that perishes, that is ruined and goes away and is destroyed. This construction here is vanity because I don't know how long it's going to last. Let's say that in 100 years, if it's still around, it's probably going to be a bit destroyed because time will destroy it. And so that is vanity because it comes to an end. Everything comes to an end. Everything that finishes is vanity. Everything that deals with being puffed up and then destroying, all of that is vanity. This is why God says in the Bible that we should not set our hearts on those vain things in life, in that which perishes and comes to an end, but that we rather set our sights on God, for that remains forever. Forever. And everything else that is here on earth is vanity. Everything has an end. It finishes. And even this earth, it says, it will one day be burned down. It will be burnt because it all comes to an end. That's vanity. And also in the Bible, it mentions vanity toward religious beliefs and idolatry, because it says, why do you believe in these vanities? The vanities were the paintings, the demons, the statues. All of that is vanity because it all comes to an end. It is destroyed. An earthquake comes and wrecks it all. So it's vanities. Those gods who have no power and are destroyed and are done with use and time, that we call vanity as well. So that's it. Vanity is what comes to an end and is over with.